upright flats and haul them down the beach, get them out in the water and muck the motor down and then
well, love you come out me one day and you go out and sit down in the coffin.
Yeah,
Look after the kids.
not worried. I'm selling it now.
Yeah, oh well, it will.
I got a flat down there, she's wooden flat, but she's fiberglass outside.
Yeah.
And I got a motor down there. I bought it that spring at the Cold Fishery.
What's that, a Johnson?
No, 30,
Emerald.
Mariner.
Mariner.
30 Mariner.
No, they're good in just
Yeah, they're good.
Mariner, yeah.
I bought it that spring as they closed the fishery that summer. I never used it that summer. I used it in part of the year to get a bit of the fish.
30, yeah.
I'm selling both of it now for $2,300.
How long is your flat? In case anyone asks me.
What'd you say?
How long is your flat? How
Wow.
long?
Very, very low.
Oh, why are you so bad? Well, I'll let them know.
Yeah.
People ask me every now and then, right?
Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
We got
Boy, send down $2,300. That's a gift, because the motor's for her new, but she burned 3 tanks of gas, that's all.
yeah.
Hello, Stephen. And Derek is here too? Scott's coming later, is he? Oh, very good. Mess up your ear, Stephanie.
Move it away.
Merry Christmas.
Sure.
Now you want some in the room, Carol?
You give back the clutches,
Mom?
did you?
Oh, I didn't know. You don't have to take them off, put the shoes on.
Everybody else got them on.
Yeah, don't take them off now.
Except Alice.
Right there? Look up.
You gonna?
Look up. Look up.
All right, David, that's okay.
Look up, Carol. Mom, look up, Mom.
You have to look this way, Dave.
Pretty sharp.
Okay, one day,
I've lost my
Derek?
eyesight.
you got to get the glasses on.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay.
Hey, look this
Okay.
way.
Smile.
Yeah, you know, I mean, he's sharp that way, you know what I mean, right?
Well, Stephanie, you can't talk to that stuff.
You all looks proud.
Smile?
Yes, coach, yes. Some bullish.
You get one shot.
Joy! You old man! Joyce!
Oh, come on. Come on.
Anyone was there?
Just shove on, Joy.
Marlboro.
Mind her. Works for years.
We want to welcome everyone here tonight from St. John's, Old Burlington, Toronto and George and Ann Carey from Shrewd, Ontario, and Mary and Elton from Old Burlington. And we have a number of people here from St. John's. I'm not going to name each one individually, but all are welcome, and I hope you'll enjoy this celebration for Mom and Dad tonight on their 50th anniversary. So right now, I will call up on Reverend Gates to say the blessing, then we'll hopefully enjoy your meal and be ready for a little bit of entertainment later. Thank you.
Okay, I want to ask you to stand. Let's just bow our heads. No, just sit. Just sit. I want to ask you to stand. Let's just bow our heads. Gracious God, we give you thanks for this day. We thank you for Ethel and Clayton and their dedication and devotion over the past 50 years. Bless their friends who have all gathered here for this very special time in their lives. And we pray, Lord, that you will bless the food upon this table. Keep us always mindful of those who are not as well off as we are. We pray, Lord, that indeed they will be fed too. Bless this food and bless us in your service. In Jesus' name.
Amen.
Yes, what have you got to say to some people
Say, yep.
Okay, we're about ready to proceed again now. So tonight we're here to celebrate Mum and Dad's 50th wedding anniversary. And it was almost 50 years ago tonight they cut a cake. And apparently I found it today, it was a 3-tier cake. And similar to what I don't know if it was similar or not, but they had a 3-tier again tonight. And their original wedding cake was baked by Aunt Gertie Mumford. And apparently Dad made the stands for it, and he's still making things after 50 years. So I'd like to call on Mum and Dad now to cut the cake, and we will then pass it, the girls will pass it around in this short while. Thank you.
here. Dad.
Small Bob.
Okay, we'll continue now. Mom and Dad were married on December the 23rd, 1947 at St. Mark's Church, Bearneath by Reverend Canon Richards. Looking at their marriage certificate, the witnesses were, when they did get married, were Mary Morgan, which is Aunt Mary Froud now, Wilmot Ozzie, which we know as Wilmot Ozzie, Morgan, I'm sorry, George Morgan, and Graham Morgan. And two other people, Vivian Bishop and Eric Bishop, now deceased. So I'd like for these people to please stand. Aunt Mary, Wilma, George, and Graham. These are good men. The other day when I was out putting up Christmas lights, Dad came out and without any prior conversation, his first comment was that 50 years was a long time. Then the next comment was, you know that's 18,262 days, including 12 leap years. So I think at this point in time now, I may call on my sister Carol to say a few words. Thank you.
Family and friends, Mom and Dad. First of all, I would like to wish everyone here tonight a very Merry Christmas and a wonderful New Year. Now to Mom and Dad. Where have the years gone? All of us from time to time reflect on past memories.
Boy.
The times we shared, the good along with the bad. There's one thing I especially remember. I was probably about 8 or 9 at the time, and I just couldn't wait to know what might appear under the Christmas tree at the annual school concert. Needless to say, I searched and snuck around the house till my Cinderella coloring book appeared. Didn't know that, did you? I was quite pleased with my success, and I might add very thrilled with the hidden treasure, coloring being my favorite hobby. Now that that's off my conscience, and I've confessed one of my naughty acts, I'm sure there's many more, but we wouldn't have all night to disclose them. My fondest thoughts are the good cooked meals, which awaited me as I usually slouch out at the couch when I visit Forty Grave, side my feet up by the side of the wood stove, waiting to be tended upon. I still do that a lot, especially now because I'm working all the time, and it's certainly good to get a break away from home. The past few years have brought significant changes and challenges, but I would like to say at this time how I'm so happy for the support you both have given me. Mom, it means so much to get a break from housework and to taste your good home cooking. And Dad, it's heartwarming to stand by the car as I'm about to leave to make sure I have enough gas, that the oil has been checked, and the final warning, watch out for the moose. I stand here today very proud to say that you're my Mom and Dad. I wish you happiness, good health, peace, and joy today and forever. I love you, and I thank you very much. And this greeting comes from my 3 sons, Scott, Derek, and Stephen. We all love you. Thank you. One other thing I have to mention, there's a card here from Mom's niece Beulah and her husband Sam, Bradley and Brandon, Aunt Ethel and Uncle Clayton. We are sorry we cannot be here tonight to join in the celebration of your golden anniversary. Work commitments would not permit it. We offer you our congratulations and wish you another 50 years together. Our thoughts are with you and we send our love and best wishes. Beulah, Sam, Bradley, and Brandon. Thank you and again, Merry Christmas.
Okay, we also have messages, and I'll read them as follows. For Aunt Ethel and Uncle Clayton, in honor of your special day, we send warm wishes of love and happiness. May you spend many more years together. Congratulations on your 50th anniversary. Love from your nieces and nephews in Toronto. We also have a card from Mrs. Langdon, Violet Langdon, to Clayton and Ethel. As you look back on the memories shared, the ways you have cared, and the cherished moments along life's way, this message comes to let you know that others share your joy. Congratulations. Sorry I'll not be here to celebrate with you, but I will be thinking of and praying for you on your special day. May God bless and continue to bless you both and your family. I appreciate you and your kindness to me. All the good dinners. Love, Violet Langdon. Also tonight, we have a few people who could not make it through illness, and they send their best wishes and sorry they could not make it. We have Clayton and Jane Mercer, St. John's, Ray and Jean Tucker, and Floyd and Gloria Morgan, which you know there's illness in the family and back to at the hospital all day today. So they send their regrets, but wish you a very happy anniversary. I stand here tonight with mixed emotions because when I look down at the tables and see so many of friends who did not get this opportunity to celebrate their own parents' 50th wedding anniversary, it makes me feel very thankful and privileged that we are here tonight celebrating with Mom and Dad on their 50th. It's common these days with the younger generation that they call their parents by their first name. But you may have noted that I refer to them tonight as Mom and Dad, which I always have, tonight being no exception. This year has been a special year for me because of starting a new job with the Portagrave Laboratory and working from the house. I have been able to spend valuable time around Mom and Dad, especially dinner time, when you get 2 dinners a day. At this time, on behalf of Carol, Joyce, Sandra, Nancy, and myself, I want to wish Mom and Dad a very happy anniversary and good health in the future. I should explain that Mom and Dad know very little of what is about to take place in the next hour. So I think they may know about 5%. And I hope you will enjoy what we have arranged. Thank you. I forgot, I'm not going to get down from here tonight. Next I would like to call upon Reverend Case, our minister, our friend, and when I talked to him this morning, he was very excited over the weather, with the sun shining and so on. So I'd like now to call upon Reverend Case. I think he may have a few words and a psalm. Mr. Case, please.
Well, first of all, on behalf of my wife Gail and myself, I want to wish Clayton and Ethel a very happy anniversary and to congratulate them. And also, of course, I have to congratulate Bill and the whole family for putting this evening together for them. I think they've done a marvelous job indeed, and I think you should all show your appreciation for that. My acquaintance with Ethel and Clayton, I guess, has been rather short compared to most of you. Maybe the shortest here, apart from Father Snow. But I have to say that I have to attribute some of the pounds around my waist to Ethel's cooking. I go there quite often when I come down to Portagrave. As a matter of fact, I make it a point to try to get in there every time I come down. I guess I'm spoiled a little. As Carol said, I too now get in and get on the couch and wait to be tended on. And every time I leave, or just about every time, I usually take with me a loaf of Ethel's fresh baked bread. And I must say that loaf only sees one sunrise. I have a couple of songs, a couple of Christmas songs, and one that I thought may be appropriate at this time for Clayton and Ethel. First of all, I think I'll share the Christmas song with you. It's called Come On Ring Those Bells. Everybody likes to have a holiday. Everybody likes to take a rest. Spending time together with the family, sharing lots of love and happiness. Come on, ring those bells like a Christmas tree. Jesus is the King, born for you and me. Come on, ring those bells, everybody say, Jesus, we remember it's your birthday. Celebrations come because of something good. Celebrations come because we love. Mary had a baby boy in Bethlehem, greatest celebration of them all. Everybody, come on, ring those bells, ring the Christmas tree. Jesus is the King, born for you and me. Come on, ring those bells, everybody say, Jesus, we remember it's your birthday. Let's try that again. Come on, ring those bells like the Christmas tree. Jesus is the King, born for you and me. Come on, ring those bells, everybody say, Jesus, we remember it's your birthday. Now try it again. Come on, ring those bells like the Christmas tree. Jesus is the King, born for you and me. Come on, ring those bells, everybody say, Jesus, we remember it's your birthday. Nobody singing. Come on, ring those bells like a Christmas tree. Jesus is the King, born for you and me. Come on, ring those bells, everybody say, Jesus, we remember it's your birthday. That's good. Now you're just into it. Let's go again. Come on, ring those bells like a Christmas tree. Jesus is the King, born for you and me. Come on, ring those bells, everybody say, Jesus, we remember it's your birthday. to share a song that was sung a few years ago by, I'm sure most of you around my age, I'm not going to say what age that is, but most of you around my age would probably remember Charlie Pride. And as I sing this one, I want you to imagine that Clayton is singing it. As a matter of fact, I think maybe after I sing through it once, I'd like to hear him try it. It's called We Could. If anyone could find the joy a true love brings a girl and boy, we could, you and I. If anyone could ever say their true love was here to stay, we could, you and I. When you're in my arms, I know you're happy to be there. Just as long as I'm with you, I'm happy anywhere. If anyone could pray each night and thank the Lord that all is right, we could, you and I. When you're in my arms, I know you're happy to be there. Just as long as I'm with you, I'm happy anywhere. If anyone could pray each night and thank the Lord that all is right, we could, you and I. We could, you and I. Want to try that one? Again, I'd just like to say before leaving, I want to thank Bill and the family for inviting me along and having us, Gail and I, share in this very special day with Ethel and Clayton. We're really delighted to be here. Thank you.
Thank you, Reverend Cape. I wouldn't have that crowd back though, because we're expecting one more, at least one more tune before we're finished. In the late 50s, there were two important people in Portygrave, in Mom's opinion, and certainly in mine. And now you're curious. They were Matt Pitton, I think Matt is here tonight, and John Nippert. My first trip out of Portygrave, an old green truck loaded with fish, and my escape from the backyard was with Matt Pitton on the way to Abergrace with fish. I think Matt remembers that old green truck. And then a little later, after dark, a year or so older, John Everett was always a real hockey fan, and he'd go to Abergrace. So Mom apparently trusted John. John would always say, "Be there when I'm ready to leave, and I will take you to Abergrace. And then when I'm ready to come home, be there and I'll take you, no problem." In Mom's opinion, John was a very obliging young fella. But unfortunately today, with the House of Assembly, I think may still be in session, or it was up to 15 minutes before we started. Unfortunately, John was tied up there and could not make it. So, catching wind of this afternoon when Mr. Butler showed up at the house with a few things, and he was gone before I got down from upstairs, I gave Roland a call. So I invited him, I said, Roland, come along tonight and enjoy yourself. And if John shows up, you'll have nothing to do. But Roland got to do the job now. So right now I'd like to call on Mr. Roland Butler. I think his official title is Executive Assistant, and he has a little presentation to make. Mr. Butler, please. Did everybody get a piece of cake? If not, raise your hand, please, like in school.
Thank you very much, Bill. Mr. and Mrs. Ralph, family members, Reverend Case, Father Snow, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, on behalf of Bob and myself, I want to thank you for the kind invitation to be here this evening, and also at the same time to represent my good friend, and I'm after finding out yours, the Honourable John Efford. I spoke with John about 15 minutes before I arrived, and I can assure you he wanted to be here tonight, but the House was still in session. I think there must have been a marathon or something. They're gone over 48 hours now. But anyway, it's a pleasure to be here to represent him and to congratulate your mother and father on 50 wonderful years. A little while ago, I attended the 50th anniversary, and I want to read to you what was read there. And if we mind to pay attention, there was a lot of things that weren't around us 50 years ago. And it goes like this. You were married before penicillin, plastics, frozen foods, frisbees, and the pill. Before man walked on the moon, and before Confederation. Back then, couples got married first and then lived together. Bunnies were small rabbits, not played by centerfolds. Fast food was something you ate during Lent, and a chip was a small piece of wood, not a computer part. In 1947, made in Japan meant junk. Making out meant how you did on your exams. Pizza, McDonald's, and instant coffee were unheard of. In your day, smoking was fashionable. Grass was something that you mowed. Coke was a cold drink. And hot was something under the bed. And rock music was grandmother's lullaby. But ladies and gentlemen, after 50 years, can you imagine how many lives and hearts this couple has touched, not only in this community, but in the surrounding areas? And I'm sure their family has been bonded with a strength that cannot be equaled. Like I said, it gives me a great pleasure to read out some messages and certificates that I have been asked to do. The first one I probably won't get the name right because I'm not bilingual. But anyways, to Clayton and Ethel Ralph, it is a great pleasure to send you both wishes and warmest congratulations on the occasion of your 50th wedding anniversary. And that's signed by the Prime Minister of Canada, John Chrétien. I'm going to lay those here now. Next thing I'll have it on the floor. The next one is the Honourable Fred J. Mifflin, Member of Parliament for the riding of Bonavista Trinity Conception, Minister of Veterans Affairs and Secretary of State, is pleased to congratulate Clayton and Ethel Ralph on the occasion of their 50th wedding anniversary. And that's signed by the Honourable Fred Mifflin. The next one reads to Mr. and Mrs. Ralph, Your MHA, the Honourable John Efford, has informed me of your 50th wedding anniversary on December the 23rd, 1997, and that a special occasion will be held in your honour on December the 19th. Very few couples ever reach that tremendous milestone. Today, such an achievement reflects not only good health and good fortune, but selfless devotion to each other. That kind of selfless devotion benefits not only the couple concerned, but the whole of society. In honor of this occasion, I am pleased to present you with a special certificate. That certificate reads, "The Government of Newfoundland and Labrador offers its congratulations to Clayton and Ethel Ralph on the occasion of their 50th wedding anniversary," and that's signed by Premier Brian Tobin. I left the last one, the best one, the last I should have said. Dear Clayton and Ethel, please accept my very sincere congratulations and best wishes on the occasion of your 50th wedding anniversary. This is indeed a most significant milestone for you, and I would like you to know that my sincere sentiments are with you today. I wish you both a very happy anniversary, and may every happiness be yours today and in the years to come. Sincerely yours, R. John Efford. And the certificate reads, "To Clayton and Ethel Ralph, as the member of the House of Assembly for the District of Portagrady, may I extend my most sincere congratulations on the occasion of your 50th wedding anniversary." So, ladies and gentlemen, at this time, on behalf of Maud and myself, and also on behalf of your MHA, the Honourable John Efford, I would like to offer congratulations to you both, and hope that you have many more years of happiness together. And I might add that when I topped over the Harbour Hills tonight, what a harbour master you got. The boats are even decorated. In conclusion, I want to apologise for coming in late. I guess you noticed that. I had 2 trips to Portagrady tonight. The first time I got down to the bottom of the harbour, Maud said I got on the wrong pantyhose. And when I got down the second time, she said, "What are you doing with your winter boots on?" So I apologise, I don't have shoes on, but I'm going back the second time. So once again, I want to thank you for the kind invitation, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you, Mr. Butler.
Yep.
Next, I'm going to call upon Dwayne Morgan. He's going to sing a little song in relationship to this anniversary. I think Dwayne is called the Anniversary Song.
All right, first of all, I'd like to say congratulations to Uncle Clayton and Aunt Ethel. Dave lived next door to Mom all the while Mom was growing up, so they're as close to family as you can get, so happy 50th anniversary. I think this song would be appropriate. I've watched the gold in your hair turn silver, and the sparkle in your eyes dim more each day, and the clutch of your hands getting weaker. All these things say it wasn't yesterday. So darling, happy anniversary. legends tend to tell the same. Its meaning we will cherish forever. But in the book of our lives, it's just a page. So, darling, happy anniversary. You've made my life for me. Once again, thanks for the memory. My darling, happy anniversary. My darling, happy anniversary.
That was excellent, Dwayne. I forgot to mention to Dwayne that Dwayne is Mom's favorite singer. So, next, by the way, we have two other couples in the 1998 in present tonight who will celebrate their 50th wedding anniversaries. I'd like these two couples to stand, please. It'll be Uncle Graham and Aunt Wilmer, and I think that is April 21st, 98. Will you please stand? And we also have Bill and Mary Tucker. I think that one is September 18th, if I stand to be corrected. I'd like for these people to stand, please. And we should give these people a round of applause. Now, I've had a special request for the number of birthdays around Christmas. And I see a lady there now kind of looking at me, and I'm not going to forget her either. And I have to name her the first one, and we're going to get people, with all people that have birthdays around Christmas, to please stand. And I'm going to ask the first lady to start off, Louise Daw. Carol Tissel.
No wages?
No. Anyone else? Anyone else with birthdays during Christmas? Please stand. And New Year. New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. I'm already standing. So Dwayne is remain standing, and Dwayne's going to. We're all going to sing birthday. Everybody join in the birthday song.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday. Happy birthday to you.
I just was reminded that Louise's birthday actually falls on Dad and Mom's actual anniversary, which is December 23rd.
I remember that.
Next, I'm going to call upon, I'll say, a friend of the family, a marine engineer of Portagrave, and a writer, Mr. Gerald Andrews, to say a few words, if you would please.
Guy tells me I got half an hour. Cut me off about dinner. Over the years, I've had a lot of conversations with Clayton. There's one question I never did ask him. That was how he voted. Somehow now I get the feeling he's been voting Liberal. And a few weeks ago when Bill asked me to say a few words. I guess the first question comes to everyone's mind when they're asked to speak on the occasion is, why me? And I didn't pursue it. Maybe there are several reasons, or I have several guesses. And one of course, that we grew up next door neighbors. And Bill always said we're friends of the family. And that's quite true. We're sort of in a unique situation. That's my own family. We were living on the point there, where the Marine Centre is. Just the fact we're living on the point, we really only had one next door neighbour, one over the fence neighbour, if you like. Most people got two or three. You usually got one on the right, one on the left, one behind or something. But the position we were in, we only had one neighbour. Unfortunately, our next door neighbour, the over the fence neighbour, was Ethel Clayton. Of course, I'm getting up there too. I can well remember Clayton's parents. Great people, and my memories of them are just as great as Ethel and Clayton. And really, a few words I want to say, sort of in that context, as the next door neighbour. Is where I was born. A little while later, we moved away. So, Clayton wasn't only the next door neighbour, Clayton and Ethel. But I'll apologise right from the beginning. I'll probably say more about Clayton and Ethel because I tend to know more about it. As a boy growing up next door, he had quite an influence on me. And very positive, by the way. And growing up, I always saw Clayton as a very talented man, very capable. Also a very meticulous man, as Bill said earlier. He could tell you all the finest details about everything. But he always impressed me with his abilities. Of course, his abilities as a woodworker are well known, and other things as well. There's one thing I'll never forget. It was probably about 25 years ago. I think it was during the winter or during the spring. I dropped into his workshop. I made many, many trips to his workshop. I dropped in there this day, and he's showing me this drill press that he was making. Now, probably some of you have seen it. And he went through the old story of how he made it. And one thing I remember in particular, in a drill press, there's a rack. Like we talk about rack and pinion and steering. There's a rack. There's a long thing with almost gears in a straight line. He said, I made that from scratch, from a piece of metal. He said, as a matter of fact, it took me almost a whole winter to file it out. Now, I must say I was very, very impressed. Impressed to the point that it's something I will remember the rest of my life. That's typical of Clayton. Great patience, very meticulous, excellent at very fine work. Not only woodwork, but in that case, metalwork. I remember another time I went to his workshop and he just had made a lathe. Now, a lathe was something that I had heard of, never saw one. The first one I actually saw was one that Clayton made, basically out of parts of the engine of a car. This had great impressions on me as a boy, and by that time I was a young man, I guess. And in many ways I looked up to him, respected him, and I guess in some ways I wanted to emulate him. I wanted to be able to do the things that he could do. And I want to say to him right here now that he had that sort of an influence on me. Another thing, of course, years ago, Clayton was the local electrician. Probably all the houses around our area, Clayton watered them. And that was another one of my interests that developed. Since about my teenage years, I had a great interest in electricity. I still do. I got involved with it quite a bit. Later on when I studied physics, every course on electricity I could do, that's what I would select. But I must say that when Clayton came to wire our house in about 1961, he generated my interest in electricity. And just another example of the sort of influence he had upon me. So I want to take this opportunity, I could go on and on, but I want to take the opportunity to thank you for that very positive influence. And also, of course, as a family, we always regarded them as a very stable, very respectable, upstanding family. certainly someone to have a tremendously good influence on the community and the neighbours around, as Roland alluded to, or I think it was in a little thing from the Premier. But Bill mentioned introduction as an historian. When I started doing research for my book, the very first house I went to was Clayton's. Actually, his mother was alive then. And I spent about 3 hours sitting down. They were telling me about the old times and about the Labrador. I still have the notes at home that I took from his mother, of all the things she told me. Just another example of how they helped me. I remember too, when I was young, every Christmas, his mother would come down, and for every one of us, she had a set of double mix. Now, we were 5 in the family, but for every one of us, his mother always appeared Christmas Eve with the double mix. Just let me add a little thing to that. I noticed too, when I was young over the years, when we dig potatoes, we'd always keep the small ones, and day after day, my mother would keep the scraps when she was peeling the potatoes. And I remember one time I asked her, what was that for? Or she said, that's for Clayton's horse. She said, Aunt Mary brings us down the meats every Christmas. She said, at least we can do this. As I said, I could go on because I said, we lived together a lifetime. And I want to mention this too, on behalf of someone else. I have an uncle here, Hector. Because Hector and Clayton were great buddies all their lives. They're very close in age. They grew up together. They were great. They've been great lifelong friends. And even now, Clayton and their nephew next door are great support to my uncle who was getting up in years. Thanks for that. Of course, the other thing some of you will know, that tremendous comradeship, I guess, was more than friendship. I suppose it was comradeship between my father and Clayton. For years and years they worked together, especially down north, practically all through the 50s and the early part of the 60s. So, Clayton to my father was more than a friend. And as I say, you see the reasons why our families are very, very close and very respectful of each other. I'm getting to realize now why I was asked to say this. I want to just relate one story that Clayton told me. This is sort of an historical one. Everyone expects a little bit of history of me now. It's probably not historical, but it's one that Clayton told me on 2 occasions. And it's one of those stories, or one of those things I'll always remember him for. He told me a few years ago, this was back maybe about 40 years. Of course, the custom around here was, this is before automobiles, the young fellows would go to Bay Roberts. Go courting, as they say, right? Especially Sunday nights. And at the time, up in Hussey's Cove, or some of the older people will know the people, I won't mention the names. But up in Hussey's Cove, there were 3 or 4 older men who just couldn't stand each other. In fact, they wouldn't speak to each other, they were always on the outs. And back then, before our great social programs, those older men kept fishing basically up till they died. Their little punts and rodneys and so on, they were forced to. So all of those were fishing, they all had their little punt. They used to have tied up there to the wharf in Hussey's Cove. And one Sunday night on the way home, a bunch of the local boys decided on a plan. They were going to get those old fellows talking to each other. So what they did, they went down their boats, they took out all the oars and the sprigs and the masts, and they tied it all together and made a big tower up on the wharf. Then they took the ropes, the rope, and weaved in through and tied it all together. Then on top of it, now I'm not exactly sure this, I think they put a splitting table. Now this splitting table now was up over 15 feet. So of course when they came down in the morning, just at daylight, there was all of their gear all tied together. Now of course the tactic was, or the plan was, now they had to cooperate with each other to get it all apart. This is what the boys did, forced them to have to speak to each other and cooperate with each other to get this apart. But anyway, A couple of times Clayton and I were talking about this, and I think it was last time I said, Clayton, there's another line to that story. He said, the last man to come on the wharf, I think his name was Efford, was it, lived up there in the corner?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, and he was, lived under his Uncle Narrett Efford. He came down and here they were cursing on the ones that did this to them and sputtering, because he looked up and saw this splitting table way up in the air and he really marveled at that. Uncle Narrett Mulford. Oh, that's what it was. And he said, whoever did that must have been a Garth Topsel man. So, before I sit down, I want to, again, I want to thank you for the opportunity to be here. My first impression when I came in that all of Bussey's Hill was here tonight. And I think it's the first time I've ever seen us all together, people who grew up there. And so it's a great pleasure for me to be here, as well as my wife, Rose, to be here with you. And I want to wish you all the best on your anniversary and the years to come. And I'm sure you'll keep on spreading the good influence you've had on all. Thanks again.
Thanks very much, Gerald. Okay, we're going to change pace now. We have a little surprise, and people sitting at their table, you could turn around your chairs there and you'll be able to see what's on the go.
This has to mean we're rehearsed this week, by the way.
Where have all my children gone? There's some lonely around here now, and I don't like eating alone. Seems like it never gets past my kick on.
Hello, Grandmother. Remember me?
Indeed I do, me favourite grandson. Thank the good Lord for sending you here today. I was just starting to get the mullet grubs.
I came over here to cheer you up. Run a few errands. Go to the bank, perhaps.
Banks? I got no use for them banks, me son. Sure, if I keep giving me money to the banks, I wouldn't have a cent. I don't trust that crowd.
I suppose you still keep all your money in that old sock. You used to keep it under the feather bed. Where'd you get that feather bed, Grandmother?
Your grandfather used to go out and kill the birds, me boy, and bring them home and pick them. He dried the feathers, then we stuff them in the tickman. Your grandfather and I slept like a log on that old feather bed, and I sure know the money was safe there.
But wouldn't the feathers stick in your skin?
Not likely, me boy. In my generation, our skin was too tough for that.
Look, Grandmother, that's my old guitar over there, right where I left it.
Yes, me boy, it hasn't been moved since you left. Only when I wiped the dust off it.
Well, I mean, you sing the song like we used to.
My voice is too old and croaky for that now, me boy.
Best be old and croaky to have near one at all.
You got some head on your shoulders. I knowed you always turned after your grandmother.
I wrote a song especially for you. Want me to try?
Yes, go right ahead and make my heart some glad.
I love you, grandmother, I won't say a word about things that you said when no one overheard. The candies, the cookies, the money you give, I'll always remember as long as I live. The way that you tell me what I shouldn't do. You put me to bed with a smile and a kiss. Yes, these are the things that I'll most surely miss. I love you, grandmother, you're part of my past. The memories of all times forever will last. You kept my secrets, you dried up my tears. So thank you, grandmother, for wonderful years. And now that I'm older, I still like to say, I'm glad to be able to see you today. And when you are gone and your will it is read, just leave me the sock and the old
When I'm gone, you can have this sock, and you can take me old feather bed too.
Not very often you get a grandmother and grandson, but that is a true blue one, if ever we have one. There's Lizzie Morgan and a grandson, Dwayne Morgan. Thanks to Lizzie and Dwayne. We jumped in on that one, but I think grandmother was a little anxious. Anyway, right now I'm going to call up on Susan. I call up on Susan who has written a poem for her grandparents, and she's going to read it. And after that, she's going to propose a toast to the grandparents.
All this time together, without regret or dismay, 50 years with each other out here around the bay. What it took to accomplish, I'll never know. Hard work and patience, a willingness to grow. Maybe it was love, it's been there for at least 50 years, through rough times and tough times, through hardships and tears. Life's had its ups, but also its downs. You've been blessed by God, the power without bounds. A family larger than many, which would be created now today, imagine it'd be Bill, the first to come your way. Then it would be Carol, baby girl number one. One right after the other, 3 more girls would come. Here we have Joyce, another special edition. Bill looked on swell, I said, more competition. We can't stop there, that's only 3. Now we find Sandra, another precious baby. Just as the list never seems to end, the youngest child, Nancy, the newest part of the trend. So many bodies to clothe and mouths to feed, all the love was shared, the most desirable need. Every baby grew up successful with families of their own. The values they taught their children were those that they've been shown. It's Clayton and Ethel Ralph who've come to celebrate. Half of the century they've endured, it surely must have been fate. So to you too I wish the best, as everybody does. Too many more years together, forever till heaven above. Stand now and toast to our grandparents.
Thank you, Susan.
right now the grandchildren are going to present a rose, and I'm going to call each name individually, starting with the oldest grandchild, to deliver a rose to their grandmother. Starting off with Scott Thistle. Derek Thistle. Tommy Ralph. Darren Morgan. I'm sorry, Daryl Morgan, he's 1 minute older. Darren Morgan. Susan Ralph. Susan has been on crutches for the last week and a half. She's only thrown aside from night, so she's still crippled. Stephen Thistle. Jennifer Russell. Jill Morgan. Stephanie Russell. Allison Russell. David Pike. And the most anxious and the youngest, Danny Pike. That's 30 grandchildren. I think Gerald mentioned Brett here a few minutes ago when he was talking about, I just talking to a lady earlier tonight, a very good friend of us from Bay Roberts, and she was after telling me she's going after mixing 2 bags of flour, 21 loaves of bread. Mrs. Dawson, congratulations. Thanks for coming down. Next I would like to call up on a lady, Grave, our friend, who we're afraid she was not going to get a chance to speak. I'd like to call on now Charlotte for a very few words.
Reverend sirs, ladies and gentlemen, to Uncle Clayton and Aunt Ethel. First, on behalf of Wayne and I and our children, Nadine, Dwayne, Danny and Michael, I would like to offer our congratulations and best wishes on your 50th anniversary. I'm so happy to be given the opportunity to stand up here tonight and say happy anniversary to 2 of my favorite people. Up to Harvard, everyone was referred to as Aunt and Uncle. Along with Uncle Clayton and Aunt Ethel, there was Uncle Gilbert and Aunt Lizzie, Uncle Bill and Aunt Maud, Aunt Olive and Uncle Herman, Uncle George and Aunt Fee, Aunt Greta, Aunt Diane and Uncle Jack, and of course my parents, Aunt Hilda and Uncle Edgar Andrews. Just like one big family. And to this very day, we still all call them all Aunt and Uncle. And to those who are not with us anymore, but are still in our memories as Aunt and Uncle. Growing up right alongside the Ralph family, a lot of my time was spent over there and doing things like they did, like helping Joyce scrub the mats down in the beach. And of course, going out to the stable to visit Black Bill. Helping gather hay for Black Bill, this, by the way, was the Ralph family horse. And he was very, very famous. I don't know if he was called after Bill or not. Getting a ride on that horse and cart, when the time came to gather hay for Black Bill, getting a ride on the horse and cart was the highlight of the year. Another thing about going across the road, which was very special for me, was to visit with Aunt Mary, Uncle Clayton's mom, who always found something funny to say. I think she was everybody's idea of a great-grandmother. To talk about all the wonderful things that I can recall about Aunt Ethel and Uncle Clayton and their family would take me all night. So once again, I would just like to extend our love and best wishes to you, and I look forward to wishing you a happy 60th anniversary. Also, I have been asked, on behalf of St. Luke's ACW, of which I'm a member, to bring greetings and well wishes to Uncle Clayton and Aunt Ethel, and wish them many more years of happiness together. So, Uncle Clayton, Wayne and I are going to end this off by singing you and Aunt Ethel a little song.
First, I got to say welcome to John Efford. He just came to the door. Hey, Uncle Clayton, Aunt Ethel, this is a song a little bit on the lighter side. I'm sure you've heard it before.
Fisherman, fisherman, down by the sea, have you any lobsters for to sell to me? Singing yo tiddly-o, yo tiddly-o, yo tiddly-o, tiddly-o, ho, ho. Yes, sir, I have three, the biggest kind of lobsters you have ever seen. Singing yo tiddly-o, yo tiddly-o, yo tiddly-o, tiddly-o, ho, ho. Oh, early next I took the lobsters home, I put them in the pot, where the missus used to squat, singing yo tiddly-o, yo tiddly-o, yo tiddly-o, tiddly-o, ho, ho. Early next morning, as you can plainly see, up jumps the missus for to do her thing, singing yo tiddly-o, yo tiddly-o, yo tiddly-o, tiddly-o, ho, ho. Well, first I heard a scream, and then I heard a grunt, and then I saw the lobster hanging from her nose, singing yo tiddly-o, yo tiddly-o, yo tiddly-o, tiddly-o, ho, ho. The moral of the story, as you can plainly see, was never put a lobster where the missus does her key, singing yo tiddly-o, yo tiddly-o, yo tiddly-o, tiddly-o, ho, ho.
Who said Paulie Gray doesn't have talent?
There's another one of Lisa's songs. Don's looking after me.
right now we're going to have a presentation, and I'll call up on Roy Andrews, please. And then when that one is over, we'll ask Louis Ralph, and they'll explain.
Brother Clayton Ralph.
Certificate.
Up there.
Lodge. Number 7. What are you graded? Trial eye.
Let's call on Louis Ralph now, please.
Seems that I called into this job, Clayton. Ray was supposed to do, but he's sick or something. He was sick. So it's customary, you know, when anyone married 50 years, we give them a pat on the back. I'm pleased to give my old history teacher a pat on the back. I know he was a history teacher, right? School is still in session about twice a week, right?